Assalamu alaikum everyone. Inshallah, I hope and pray that you're well. And I hope that your holy month of Ramadan is going well too. It is an absolute honour for me today to come in front of you to share this story. My name is Shabbir Tejani of the Tejani brothers. And the story that I'm going to share with you is from this book called The Adventures of a Qur'anic Family. I hope you can see it. It's written by F Gulamhussein, Merali and N Virjee. And without further ado, I will get over to my story. And it's actually called Muhammad's Mistake. And it's a very, very good story. I thought it's a very, very important story for everyone out there because we all make mistakes from time to time. And this story has got a very, very good moral to it. And inshallah, I hope you and I can learn something from it. So here we go. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Mummy is very busy today, thought Muhammad as he watched her from the top of his book that he was reading in the living room. She was hurrying at top speed from room to room, putting things away, dusting and cleaning. At night, Muhammad's aunties and uncles were coming round for dinner. Mummy and Daddy had even pushed all the furniture of the living room to one side to make lots of space. Now, when relatives or friends, family come round to your house, I'm sure your parents and your family must be doing the same. Just as Muhammad was about to get back to his book, Mummy came into the kitchen carrying a heavy brown box. She put it down gently on the table and began opening it. What could be inside? Wow, the new dinner set Mummy had got for Eid, thought Muhammad. This must be a special dinner. Slowly she lifted out a plate and began to remove the bubble wrap from around it. Mummy, that looks like fun. Can I help? Muhammad eagerly asked. No, sweetie, these are very heavy and easily breakable, replied Mummy. Just then, the call for the afternoon prayer began to sound from their special adhan clock. Putting everything down, Mummy said, I'm off to pray now. Please don't touch anything, Muhammad, sweetie. I will finish the rest after I pray. As she left the room, Muhammad walked to the table to have a closer look. He reached into the box and pulled out a mug. This isn't very heavy, he thought, as he tore off the bubble wrap. Putting the mug down next to the plate, he reached for another. Mummy will be surprised to see her work done for her, he smiled to himself. As he leaned over to pick out the third mug, his elbow pushed against the plate, sending it, along with the two other mugs, crashing to the floor. Oh dear. Muhammad jumped back, frightened by the loud crash. Oh no! He stared in shock at the pieces of shattered dishes at his feet. Mummy's new dinner set. Oh, she is going to be so angry with me, he thought. He stepped back carefully, walked away from the glass and leaned against the window. He felt like crying. He knew Mummy would be down any minute. She must have heard the loud noise. What would he say to her? Muhammad really wished he had listened to Mummy and not touched anything. Outside the clouds had gathered and it then began to rain. Daddy always said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala especially answers our prayers when it rains. Quickly Muhammad whispered to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Please, please Allah, don't let Mummy be angry with me. What happened, Muhammad? Are you alright? I heard a loud noise. Mummy called out as she hurried down the stairs. Then she stopped at the door as she saw the shattered glass on the floor. Muhammad, she began in a louder than usual voice. Mummy, please don't be angry. I was only trying to help. I know I should have listened to you, cried Muhammad. Suddenly he remembered the verse from the Qur'an that Daddy always reminded him about when he got cross at his little sister. Mummy, remember how Daddy always says the Qur'an tells us that when we are angry we should forgive? And the verse of the Qur'an is وَإِذَا مَا غَضِبُوا هُمْ يَغْفِرُونَ. And when they are angry they forgive. This is from Surah Ash-Shu'ara, verse 37. Mummy, please will you forgive me? Mummy's face softened. As she walked over and gave him a tight hug, she sat down and pulled him next to her. Of course I forgive you, sweetie. I just wish you had listened to me. You could have hurt yourself. I know, Mummy. I promise I will try to always listen to you. But what about your new dish set? Oh, that's okay. It's only a few mugs. And a plate. Why don't you go upstairs now and play with your sister while I clean up here? Listening to his mother, Muhammad carefully walked out of the room and headed upstairs. Phew, thank you, Allah. Muhammad whispered as he climbed. Then he had suddenly a thought. Where was Maryam? His little sister was never so quiet. She must be up to something. Wondering where Maryam might be, Muhammad walked into his room. There he saw his 3-year-old sister sitting on the floor, surrounded by all his favourite toys from his secret box. Maryam, he began to shout, when suddenly he remembered the verse of the Qur'an he just reminded Mummy about. And what was that verse, everyone? It was, وَإِذَا مَا غَضِبُوا هُمْ يَغْفِرُونَ. And when they are angry, they forgive. And that's from Surah Shu'ara, verse 37. Mummy had so quickly forgiven him just then for breaking some of her new dinner set. Taking a deep breath in, he smiled. He walked over, took her hand and said, "Come on, Maryam, let's go outside. It has stopped raining. We can look for treasure. I am the captain and you are my helper." And that's the end of the story. What a lovely story this was. We learned so many things from it. Number one, we learned that we should always listen to our mummies and daddy, because whenever they say something, they say it with wisdom and they say it for our own benefit. And secondly, we learned that if we do make a mistake, we should always own up to it. And we should tell whoever is around us, our mummy, daddy, grandparents, anyone that's looking after us, if we've made a mistake. And it's never too late to own up to a mistake. And thirdly, we learned that whenever someone else has made a mistake, we should never be angry at them, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says we should forgive them. So I hope you've really enjoyed this story. I hope you've learnt a few things. And as we've learnt from this story, children who are around their parents, who are around their families and their loved ones, there's such a special relationship. But there are some children out there around the world who don't have parents, who don't have people to look after them. And that's why I would strongly urge you to donate to the Noor Orphans Fund. Their details can be found in the comments section of this video. And inshallah, I pray that you all donate something to this charity. I pray that inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shower His blessings upon you all, give you a long, healthy and prosperous life, and I hope that you stay blessed during this holy month of Shahr Ramadan. Khuda Hafiz everyone. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.